Josh Miller, Braden Schneider back here at Eddie Underwood Field in Fort Morgan, Colorado, as we get set for today's baseball game, the final game of the 2012 regular season. Today's Mustang Express brought to you by B&B Appliance, 502 Ensign, downtown Fort Morgan. Place to shop for all your appliance needs. B&B Appliance, member of the Brand Source Retail Program. Braden, you had the chance to talk to Coach Langford. We just heard him in his interview, but this is a big game for his seniors this afternoon on Senior Day. But this is a big ball game for the entire Mustang Ball Club, as there's some playoff implications on the line.
There is, and if the Mustangs lose this game, they drop to third and not second. And I spoke with a couple of the Mustang players, mostly the seniors, just trying to talk to them and see how they felt about today's game. Spoke with Nick Garver, and he said this game means a lot more than what anybody would expect. Not only is it my last game, home game, in my high school career at Eddie Underwood Field, but this is for second and third. I mean, we want second, we don't want third, so this is a very hungry Mustang team. And I was talking to Coach Langford about the mindset and kind of the mentality of his team, and he said we're the same baseball team as we were in March. He said we're a very consistent team. He said there's a lot of us that kind of feel sorry for ourselves right now because we're facing failure. He said, I feel like we're going to bounce back, and with this game being as big as it is, with the seniors' last game for Aaron Anderson, Michael Fitzsimmons, Cole Frisbee, Matt Godo, and others that I won't mention, there's a lot to these seniors. As any last game is very emotional, and everybody wants to come out and play their best. And so just around school today, the Mustangs were very loose, calm, they were having fun, they were excited, but very focused. As I watched them take infield, and there's just something different. They were very focused. I didn't see any mistakes made by any of these leaders out here. Everything was fielded cleanly. Throws were perfect. I'm excited for today's baseball game.
Consistency is a big part of this sport and baseball in general, and the Mustangs have been consistent all year. They've hit a bit of a hiccup here after their 7-game winning streak. Not typical of the Mustangs to commit the errors that have been committed, and definitely interested and excited to see what they do here this afternoon as the umpires and coaches finish their meeting up at home plate. The Fort Morgan Mustangs take the field. 13-5 overall is Fort Morgan this season. 9-4 in Tri-Valley League play. Good enough currently for second place as the Roosevelt Rough Riders visiting here in Fort Morgan this afternoon. The Rough Riders 9-8 overall on a 2-game winning streak. 8-5 in Tri-Valley League play. As we head towards the opening pitch, today's starting lineups brought to you by Cargill Meat Solutions. Cargill takes as much pride in the community just as they do in the products they provide to their consumers. Part of the KSIR B106 scholarship program. Out in left field, David Mendez. In center field, senior Nick Garver. Right field, Nate Alexander. First base, the senior Cole Frisbee. Second base, Ulysses Hernandez. Another senior, both seniors on the left side of the infield. Michael Fitzsimmons at short. Aaron Anderson at third base. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider, Eddie Underwood Field in Fort Morgan, where the Mustangs trail after 1/2 inning. 1-0 is our score. Roosevelt pushing the run across. That run likely does not score after Ulysses Hernandez is there. Mustangs look to play catch-up as we head towards this bottom half of the first. David Mendez to lead things off for the Mustangs, followed by the pitcher Matt Godo. Michael Fitzsimmons due up third. The rest of the lineup for the Mustangs in order is Mendez, Godo, Fitzsimmons. Aaron Anderson cleans things up. Nick Garver 5th. Cole Frisbee bats 6th. Justin Flug bats 7th. Nate Alexander 8th. Ulysses Hernandez bats 9th. The Mustang going straight 9 today, not utilizing the DH as David Mendez steps in. The first pitch by the right-handed pitcher Daniel Camerzell is fouled off for strike 1. Mendez steps in. Been a huge asset to this ball club all season long as the 0-1 pitch from Camerzell is hit left side, again fouled off in front of the third base dugout. Mendez is quickly behind. No balls, 2 strikes. As Matt Godo patiently waits on deck.
This is a big inning for the Mustangs. It's only the bottom of the first, but the Mustangs need to make a statement right here, right now.
The 0-2 pitch to David Mendez, hit weakly right side. Second baseman Corju fields it, picks it up onto first in time. It'll be the first out here for the Mustangs. Braden makes the point the Mustangs have to make a little bit here of a statement here, as they're on a 2-game losing streak. Had to play catch-up on last Tuesday against Erie Braden, as the Mustangs, that was probably the first time in a long time they've had to come back from a deficit. Were able to do so, but not able to come back last Thursday and or Saturday, so it's big here. The Mustangs stay in this game and don't let it get too far away, as Godo on the first pitch laces the baseball right at the pitcher. He fields it off a hop, if it even made barely a hop, and throws on to first to get Godo for the second out. But a good at-bat there by Matt Godo. Would have been a base hit if the pitcher, wasn't able to get the glove on it.
Almost a defensive move by the pitcher, as that ball was hit directly back at him. So just an unfortunate turn of events for Godo.
First pitch misses to Michael Fitzsimmons. As Camerzell winds up, delivers, Fitzsimmons laces the ball down the right field line. Will it stay fair? No. The ball cleared the fence down the right field line, but not able to stay fair, as Fitzsimmons and the count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike. You can follow us all season long, pitch by pitch. B106.com. Click on the appropriate Mustang link wherever it is you have internet, home computer, telephone. And follow us as we enter the statistics through the ESPN iScore application. Michael Fitzsimmons takes the 1-1 pitch for a ball. Counts now 2 balls, 1 strike, with 2 outs in the bottom half of the first inning for Fort Morgan. As Camerzell winds up, 2-1 pitch, again fouled off the screen. Count evens up, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here for the Mustangs. Lucky 2s on the scoreboard. Mustangs have actually had a lot of success this season scoring with 2 outs. But with no runners on base, it's going to be a tough task in this bottom half of the first inning. Fitzsimmons hits the ball right back at the pitcher, just as Godo did. Pitcher Camerzell fielding his position well this inning, throws on to first to end the Mustangs' threat. With 1 in the books, and the side retired here for Fort Morgan. We'll head to the top of the second. You're listening to Mustangs Baseball, B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Snyder, top of the second inning, as Matt Godo begins his second inning of work. Daniel Quintana, the winning pitcher. When we saw this Roosevelt club last on Saturday, steps in. He bats 5th in the lineup. He takes strike 1. Did not have a hit, Quintana, in Saturday's ball game, but did his job on the pitcher's mound to keep the Mustangs quiet. The 0-1 pitch by Godo, also a called strike. Good breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. Godo's way ahead. No balls, 2 strikes. Top of the second inning, Mustangs trail 1-0 as the 0-2 pitch, a fastball, gets away from Godo, hits Quintana. He'll be on base. It's a good idea with the 0-2 pitch. That fastball just got too far inside on Quintana as it caught his left shoulder. He'll be on base after the hit by pitch. And that'll bring up 6th hitter in the lineup, Nate Troby. Troby, big game on Saturday, Braden. Big game. Gentleman had a stand-up double, and his next at-bat hit a solo home run that really kind of clinched things on Saturday for his ball club. As Troby takes the curveball down and inside, ball 1.
Yeah, Troby had a really good game. You got to give him credit. He really helped his team. And that last hole, that solo shot was the one that put the nail in the coffin for him. The Mustangs, I'm sure, want to shut him down here.
The 1-0 pitch, Godo breaking ball. Umpire says it's low, as the count's now 2 balls, no strike. The runner Quintana at first base. Not much of a lead as Cole Frisbee holds him on. Mustangs outfield, playing straight up, regular depth. Garver shaded slightly to the left side, playing pull. Troby's double and home run went more towards the right center gap. Not sure why Garver's not adjusted to that, as the 2-0 pitch, a breaking ball taken by Troby for a strike. Godo did try the pickoff attempt there, not unsuccessful, as Quintana was back before Godo threw that strike. 2-1 the count. Sets, delivers, fastball at the knees, strike 2. Godo works back into this count, evens things up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Quintana at first base after the hit by pitch. No outs, top of the second inning. Godo a long check of the runner Quintana over at first. Now delivers the 2-2 pitch. A breaking ball in the dirt, ball 3. A good job by the Mustangs catcher, Justin Flug, to block that baseball and keep it in front. As the count's now full on Troby. Daniel Camerzell, the pitcher, is on deck for the Roosevelt Rough Riders. Mustangs defense very alert, ready to go. Runner going on the 3-2 pitch. Hit left side to Anderson. Fielded cleanly on to first in time. The runner Quintana moving from first. Aaron Anderson's only option was to go after the batter runner at first base. He does so successfully for the first out this inning on the ground out, 5-3. Anderson did a good job to stay down there. The runner moves up 90 feet, now is at second base, and Quintana, as Daniel Camersell, the pitcher, steps in. No hits on Saturday for Camersell as he takes the first pitch for a strike. Counts now 0-1 strike. On the Roosevelt's 7th hitter in the lineup. Derek White on deck, 8th in the lineup. Quintana off the bag at second. Ulysses Hernandez works to keep him close. Godo's 0-1 pitch, fouled off out of play, and the count's quickly 0-2 strikes for Matt Godo. Godo's always made things interesting this season, Braden, but he finds a way to settle down. He's been very effective, only one loss the entire season.
Yeah, Godo's doing a good job, and what I like here early on is the attempted pickoff at second is unsuccessful. Godo, runner getting back pretty easy. But Godo really has done a good job once he settles down. And here what I like so far is he's just gone after hitters. He hasn't had too many deep pitch counts.
The 0-2 pitch, a curveball swung on, strike 3. Got the hitter Camersell to chase. Good 0-2 pitch as it was. I'm not sure anybody in this stadium or ballpark would be able to hit that curveball as Camersell goes in the books, strike 3.
Beautiful breaking ball that Godo has. Got Camersell out on his front foot and left him spinning in circles.
Derek White steps in. He had a base hit in Saturday's ballgame out to shallow left center field. Michael Fitzsimmons, now the shortstop up the middle, works Quintana and keeps him close at second. First pitch swinging is Derek White. Lines out to the shortstop, Michael Fitzsimmons. That'll do it for the Rough Riders in the second. Fort Morgan 0, Roosevelt 1. We'll be back bottom half of the second inning. Mustangs baseball, B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider, Eddie Underwood Field, Fort Morgan, Colorado, where the Mustangs trail 1-0 after 1.5 in the books. Aaron Anderson steps in. First pitch swinging. The left-handed bat, third baseman for the Mustangs, fouls it off out of play over the third base dugout. Anderson hit his hot streak here. Slowed down a little bit as of late. Most of the Mustangs hitters slumping a little bit, but Anderson's been one of their hottest hitters all season long as the 0-1 pitch, a fastball misses. The count evens up, 1-1 strike on Aaron Anderson. Michael Fitzsimmons was about 10 feet away, Braden, down the right field line from tying this baseball game before he grounded out as Anderson swings at the 1-1 pitch, fouls it right side off the front of the first base dugout. Counts quickly, 1-2 strikes on Aaron. Josh Langford, the head Mustang baseball coach in the third base coaching box. Assistant coach Steve Hale down the line at first. 1-2 is the count. Bottom of the second inning, no outs. Roosevelt scoring 1 in the top half of the first. Continues to lead 1-0 as the 1-2 pitch by Camersell to Anderson. Taking a changeup on the outside part of the plate. Evens things up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As Anderson awaits the 2-2 pitch, Camersell has the sign, works from the windup, on its way, swung on, hit right side. First baseman going after the baseball, fields it cleanly deep in the 4-3 hole, throws it on to the pitcher covering the bag for the out. Anderson just not able to get extended on that baseball, gave the first baseman enough time to get over and field it cleanly for the first out in the second inning.
Ackley Building Center, your one-stop center for projects around your home, office, or yard. Ackley Building Center, located at 1402 Mill Street in Brush.
1 out. Bottom of the second is the center fielder Nick Garver steps in, squares to bunt, trying to bunt for a base hit, pulls back, takes the pitch for a ball. We've seen this from Garver all year long. If those corners are back and don't respect his speed, he'll draw that infield in as he's done here and then look to open some holes up on the infield. He takes the 1-0 pitch, called for a strike at the knees. Count evens up, 1-1 strike on the senior. Nick Garver thought about the 1-1 pitch, instead took it. Thought it was up in the zone, but the umpire called it a strike. Garver's now behind 1-2 strikes. As he's back in, ready to go. Camersell's 1-2 pitch, a breaking ball, misses high, ball 2. Count evens up, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Nick Garver. Cole Frisbee is on deck, the Mustangs' first baseman. Camersell has the sign. The right-hander's 2-2 pitch to Garver. He takes it on the inside part of the plate. Strike 3. Strikeout looking for Garver. Second out this inning here for the Mustangs as Cole Frisbee steps in. 2 outs, bottom of the second. Mustangs need base runners first and foremost, and then they need to manufacture runs by moving runners over into scoring position and have somebody drive in the runs. As Frisbee steps in, first pitch fastball outside part of the plate at the knees, called a strike. It's a good take by Cole. That's not a pitch he's able to drive, but he's got to be more aggressive, as do most of the Mustangs. That's been a lot of their problem as of late. As Frisbee fouls the 0-1 pitch off over the left or third base dugout. Quickly behind, no balls, 2 strikes. Had the chance to talk a little bit about that with Coach Langford, but his ball club falling behind in a lot of counts, Braden. A lot of 0-2, 1-2 counts. Hard to work as a hitter from those counts.
Most definitely, and that's one thing. Talked with Coach Langford. He said the goal for today is to have nobody strike out. I don't care if they ground out, fly out, pop out. Just don't strike out. He wants them to be more aggressive at the plate.
Frisbee fouls the 1-2 pitch off again, left side out of play as he fights to stay alive. That's just it. You got to put the ball in play. You got to make the defense do their job. And if you're not going to put the ball in play, it makes life easy for the defense and the pitcher. It doesn't force the pitcher to work a whole lot, and that's been some of the Mustangs' problem is pitchers have only been throwing 75 to 85 pitches, being very effective, throwing a lot of strikes, and Mustangs in these last 2 or 3 ball games, not much pressure put on their opponent. Like to see them back to their regular form and applying pressure of all kinds in the offensive side of things. 1-2 pitch to Frisbee, hit down the left field line. It's going to drop. Is it fair? Yes. Just inside the left field foul line. The left fielder doing a great job. C.J. Hawley coming over to get that baseball. Frisbee's going to have to stay put at first. But the Mustangs have the base runner on with 2 outs after that single down the left field line by Cole Frisbee.
The most important thing to buying a new building or starting a new design build project is picking the right company to build it. Call Pat Walter, Travis Lefevre, or Jared Samples for your free bid. 970-842-5837. That's buildingsbydesign.com.
Justin Flug, the Mustang catcher, steps in, takes the changeup, ball 1 low and inside in the dirt. Frisbee out at first base, held on by Daniel Quintana. Camersell works from the stretch to keep Frisbee close. The 1-0 pitch to Justin Flug, a fastball taken at the knees. The count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Mustang senior, their catcher. We've seen him behind the plate all season long. As Camersell delivers the 1-1 pitch, Flug fouls it straight back. Good cut by Justin. Just under that baseball as he fouls it straight back. 1-2 is now the count on the Mustangs catcher, Justin Flug. Cole Frisbee on the bag. Now off the bag at first base. The first baseman, Quintana, plays behind Frisbee. As Flug drives the baseball left side over the left fielder's head. Frisbee's going to have to run. Frisbee not much of the sprinter as the left fielder struggles to pick up the baseball. Frisbee's going to motor around all the way from first. He's got to go. He doesn't. As the catcher holds on to the baseball, makes the tag. Justin Flug with the double, but Cole Frisbee cut down at the plate as the Mustangs try to even things up. But that'll do it for the Mustangs here in the second inning. As we head to the top half of the third, Fort Morgan 0, Roosevelt 1. You're listening to Mustangs Baseball, B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider back here at the Underwood Field, Fort Morgan, where the Mustangs' threats ended. Bottom half of the second, Frisbee a long way to run from first base. That short left center field gap at 343. The left fielder, C.J. Hawley, collected it off the fence. Frisbee hit the third base bag about the time the throw was headed towards home plate, Braden. The throw a little bit up the line. Frisbee tried to knock the ball out of the catcher's glove, but not able to do so as he was cut down to end the end of threat in the second. Yeah,
it was an aggressive coaching move by Coach Langford. Frisbee does not have the speed that the rest of the Mustangs do, as he's a bigger Mustang, and really nothing Cole could do there as he did his best to take the catcher out and just couldn't get the ball loose. Give credit to the catcher as he did a good job to hold on to the ball as he took a hard hit.
C.J. Hawley making that great play, leads things off. He took the first pitch for a strike. Now squares to bunt to draw the infield in. Takes it, pulls the bat back. Count evens up, 1 ball, 1 strike. C.J. Hawley, the left fielder. As Godot's 1-1 pitch, a breaking ball misses high, ball 2. C.J. in that inning did a great job. Not only to first cut off the the angle down the left field line to keep Frisbee at second base. Then did another great job to get to that fence and get that baseball in as quick as he possibly could to his shortstop, who then threw on for the out at home plate. Two big defensive plays for C.J. Hawley in that last half inning as he fouls off the 2-1 pitch. 2-2 is now the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ninth batter in the lineup, C.J. Hawley, as Matt Godo winds up, delivers his 2-2 pitch. A fastball fouled straight back as Hawley fights to stay alive. On deck, the leadoff hitter, Ray Hernandez. Hernandez started things off with a leadoff double in his last at-bat. Or, excuse me, hit by pitch in his last at-bat. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball just misses. Hawley actually sticking out his knee trying to get that baseball to hit him, unable to do so. Count's now full. 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball, strike 3 looking. Good pitch by Godo. Ends Hawley's threat as Mustangs throw it around the infield. Strike 3 looking for Matt Godo. Brings up Ray Hernandez. To correct myself, he did have the leadoff double in his first at-bat, starting things off for the Rough Riders. Their only run, he scored on the sacrifice fly out to right field. He takes ball 1 in his second at-bat. Ray Hernandez, the leadoff hitter for the Mustangs. 1-0 pitch by Godo, up and outside in the zone, ball 2. 2-0 now the count. With 1 out, top half of the third inning, Mustangs trail early 1-0. As Matt Godo winds up his 2-0 pitch, a fastball again up and outside, ball 3. Godo's got to do a better job working here and at the knees, force the hitters to get themselves out. Make that pitch look appetizing to swing at as the 3-0 pitch taken all the way. Called a strike as Godo fights to get back in this count. Has the sign, the 3-1 pitch. Fastball outside part of the plate, again called strike 2. Not swinging Hernandez. Hernandez taking again all the way. Count's now full. As Godo working quickly, winds up, delivers the full count pitch. A curveball outside corner, strike 3. Hernandez not happy, but he's in the books. That'll be the second out this inning for Fort Morgan. 2 strikeouts looking for Matt Godo. And that'll bring up the number 2 hitter in the lineup, the left-handed second baseman bat of Christopher Corju. Corju steps in. Matt Godo has the sign from catcher Justin Flug. The first pitch, a fastball right down Broadway, strike 1. Corju reached on that air in that first inning. The air by Ulysses Hernandez allowed Hernandez to move up 90 feet, which then allowed the sacrifice fly to take place as Corju fouls the baseball off out of play. He's quickly behind. No balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs in this top half of the third inning. Godo with a new baseball on the mound, working quickly as always. The Mustang pitching staff working quickly and effectively as the ball is put out to left side of the infield, fielded by Fitzsimmons on a hop, throws in time to Frisbee, and that'll do it for Roosevelt in the third. We head to the bottom half of the third inning. Fort Morgan 0, Roosevelt 1. You're listening to Mustangs Baseball, B106, B106.com. Back here at Eddie Underwood Field, Fort Morgan, Colorado. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider with you. Tuesday afternoon baseball for Fort Morgan on Senior Day. Final game of the 2012 regular season. We'll be speaking with Coach Langford next Monday, as we always do, to get an idea as to what will happen on the district scene and where the Mustangs will be headed to play in the postseason. But before we get ahead of ourselves, they've got to find a way to get back in this baseball game. Roosevelt scoring in the top half of the first. Mustangs have yet to answer. Almost had the opportunity of Frisbee scoring there in that last half inning, but he was cut down at the plate. Nate Alexander steps in. The 8th hitter in the lineup for Fort Morgan with Ulysses Hernandez on deck, and then back to the top of the order in David Mendez. Alexander takes the first pitch low and outside, ball 1. In between those innings, Braden, Coach Langford telling his team, keep swinging, keep swinging. As Alexander swings and lines this baseball right out to center field. Center fielder thought about coming in to catch the baseball, then realized if he wasn't careful, that ball go over his head. He took a couple steps back, fielded it on a hop. Alexander reaches on the single, and it was a shot to center field. As the Mustangs look to execute, manufacture a run. Wouldn't be surprised here if Ulysses Hernandez squares to bunt and execute the sacrifice, or at least see a runner in motion in some kind of a hit and run as Cam Rosell throws over to keep Alexander close. Alexander back easily. Nate has good speed. Always aggressive on the base passes. He's cautiously off first base here. The ball in the dirt to Hernandez. Taken down and low outside. Ball 1. Hernandez, a long look down at Coach Josh Langford, who's running through a series of signs, making sure he has the attention of Nate Alexander at first base. As Hernandez steps back in, the count's 1 ball, no strikes. Camersell working from the stretch, a check of the runner, now delivers. Hernandez squares to bunt, pulls back. The 1-0 pitch called, ball 2.
And Josh, one thing with these Mustangs hitters, a lot of their pitches that they've hit back at Roosevelt have been right up the center. They're all over Camersell. Got to give the Mustangs credit. None of their pitches have been iffy, like almost fair. We had Fitzsimmons that just went right, and Frisbee snuck one in down the left field line.
Alexander running, swinging. Hernandez comes up empty, but the catcher's not able to handle the baseball. Nate Alexander reaches second base after the steal. 2-1 is now the count. 2 balls, 1 strike on Ulysses Hernandez, with Nate Alexander out at second base in scoring position. As Hernandez now squares, bunts, but gets not able to keep it fair. It goes foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count on Ulysses Hernandez. Nate Alexander out at second base. You'd like to see the Mustangs execute and at least get a run across in this 3rd inning. 2-2 pitch by Camersell after the check of Alexander. Hernandez again squaring, pulls the bat back, but too late as the umpire said he offered at the pitch. It'll go down in the book as a strikeout. Alexander stays put at second base. The catcher doing a great job there, Mac Morford, to keep that breaking ball in the dirt in front. As David Mendez steps in, he grounded out his first at-bat to the second baseman. As Camersell delivers the breaking ball up in the zone, ball 1. Mendez, the Mustangs' leadoff hitter, has been very productive offensively all season long. It's a big at-bat for Mendez as well as Godo. They've got to find a way to score Alexander from second. As Mendez takes a big cut on the 1-0 pitch, comes up empty. The count evens up, 1 ball, 1 strike. Roosevelt's corner outfielders playing closer to the lines. Big gaps opened up here for Fort Morgan if Mendez can get something over the middle infielders' heads. As he swings at the 1-1 pitch, skies it left side. Third baseman, shortstop giving it chase. As nobody's able to come up with the baseball. Looks like the sun may have played a little bit of an issue as the third baseman, shortstop, and left field are all able to settle in under that baseball, but nobody comes away with it. As goes in the books as a foul ball. New life here for David Mendez with the count 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, bottom half of the 3rd inning. Nate Alexander, after his single and stolen base, out at second. Mustangs trail 1-0, and the 1-2 pitch, a breaking ball is taken high, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on David Mendez, today's Mustang left fielder. Alexander off the bag at second, held close by Corju, the second baseman. Camersell's 2-2 pitch, fouled off straight back out of play as Mendez fights to stay alive. Morford doing a good job behind the plate, controlling his pitcher here, making sure they find a way to get out Mendez, but Mendez is going to put up a fight, has all year. 2-2 pitch, Mendez hits sharply in the 5-6 hole. Alexander motoring is going to be held at third base. The throw cut off by the third baseman. Mendez on with the single. Alexander moves up 90 feet. The Mustangs in business with runners at first and third. Grass is a little longer than we've seen all year, Braden. It's playing a lot slower than the early part of the season. Before a lot of that rain we've gotten, that ball died in shallow left field. If not, Alexander would have scored easily.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's a little longer as you and I were walking around behind home plate to go get lineups this afternoon. It is a little longer, and that worked out against the Mustangs this time, but runners at first and third with Matt Godo at the plate. Can't be worried if you're a Mustang fan.
No, Godo steps in looking to help himself and his team, the senior, as he takes the first pitch, a fastball down and inside, ball 1. Godo grounding out in his first at-bat. It was a shot. Pitcher playing a little bit of defense mode, able to get the glove on the baseball. Godo's put the ball in play hard all season long. Mendez and the Mustangs in business. Mendez at first, Alexander at third. Godo swinging. It's a ground ball up the middle, fielded by the second baseman. The run scores, but not in time because the Roosevelt Rough Riders able to turn the double play. Godo not the fastest of the Mustangs crew, as it's going to go in the books, 4-6-3. The run would have scored if Godo was able to beat it out. Not able to do so as we head towards the top half of the fourth inning. The Mustangs retired. Roosevelt 1, Fort Morgan 0, B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider, Eddie Underwood field in Fort Morgan. The Mustangs threat eliminated there in the bottom half of the third on the 4-6-3 double play. Godo takes the mound for his fourth inning of work as Mac Morford, the three-hitter in the lineup for Roosevelt, steps in. In his first at-bat, he flew out to Nate Alexander. He has the lone RBI on his sacrifice fly. He takes ball one outside. As Godo looks to keep his team close. The 1-0 pitch by Matt. A breaking ball taken on the outside part of the plate. Strike one. Count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the fourth inning, Mustangs trail 1-0 as Morford fouls the 1-1 pitch off and out of play and now is behind 1 ball, 2 strikes. Godo's got to do a good job here, way ahead in the count. Not too good of a pitch to hit, as he has the sign from Mustangs catcher Justin Flug. The 1-2 pitch reached for by Morford on the breaking ball, poked out of play as Mac Morford fights to stay alive.
That's one thing that broke open the Erie game when we played Erie in Erie, is Godo had an 0-2 count and gave the Erie hitter too good a pitch to hit.
1-2 pitch is hit out again, shallow right field. Nate Alexander calls off the second baseman, makes the grab. It'll be the first out this inning for the Mustangs, as that's twice now Morford's flown out to right field. First time just far enough that able to pick up the run for his ball club. But with 1 out in this fourth inning, that brings up the cleanup hitter, Jalen Davenport. As Davenport steps in, he grounded out his first at bat. What turned out to be the inning-ending double play as Hernandez stepped on the bag, threw over to first. He takes the first pitch for a ball. The 1-0 pitch, a curve ball. Misses a little bit high, ball 2. Godo's now behind 2 balls, no strikes. As he has the sign. The right-hander works from the windup, 2-0 pitch. Fastball outside at the knees, strike 1. Good pitch by Godo. Davenport not swinging. Counts now 2 balls, 1 strike on the cleanup hitter from Roosevelt, Jalen Davenport. Godo's 2-1 pitch, fouled off right side, out of play. So the count evens up, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Morgan Federal Bank, your one-stop shop for all of your banking and investment needs, from checkings to savings to IRAs. 321 Ensign Street, Morgan Federal Bank. There's a difference. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Godo's 2-2 pitch after he gets a new baseballs in the dirt. A breaking ball misses, ball 3. Counts now full on Jalen Davenport. Daniel Quintana's on deck. He got hit by a pitch in his first at-bat as Godo delivers the 3-2 pitch. Hit weakly right side. Settling under, it's the first baseman, Cole Frisbee, who makes the catch for the second out this inning. As Godo's settling in and doing his part to get the outs, or the easy outs anyway, for his defense. As Frisbee makes the catch, Quintana steps in, hit by a pitch in his first at-bat with 2 outs, top half of the fourth inning. 1-0 is our score. Roosevelt scoring in the top half of the first. Mustangs have had a couple opportunities but not able to score yet, as the first pitch to Quintana is called, strike 1 on the breaking ball. Godo's 0-1 pitch, again a breaking ball, gets away, goes all the way to the backstop as the count evens up, 1 ball, 1 strike on Daniel Quintana. Godo has the baseball, signed from Flug. The 1-1 pitch by the right-hander, again a curveball, hit weakly up the middle. Hernandez should have caught it, but let the ball hit the ground, not able to make a play. The runner's going to reach on a single. That ball came off, looked like it came off Godo's hand weird. Looked like it came off the bat weird. Looked like it was going to be in the air long enough for Hernandez to make the catch, but he lets it fall, and Quintana's on base with the single.
Yeah, weird play. And when that ball hit the ground, it spun like 90 degrees right. So I don't know what Godo threw there, but definitely had a different spin on it when it came off the bat.
With 2 outs in this 4th inning, the Rough Riders have the runner at first base. The first pitch to Troby. Misses in the dirt, ball 1. This is not the batter you want to face, especially with runners on, as Troby killed the Mustangs, quite frankly, on Saturday. He was single-handed. I think he had 2 RBI double, solo home run, and took advantage and led his team to Saturday's win as he's back in the box with the count 2 balls, no strikes. Godo a pickoff over to first, nothing doing. Quintana's back easily.
Central Auto Parts, for all of your auto supply needs, stop by Central Auto Parts at West Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan.
Godo's 2-0 pitch outside part of the plate, called for a strike. Justin Flug throwing down after the pitch to keep the runner close, but back is Quintana. Follow us all season long, B106.com. Click on the appropriate links. Follow us pitch by pitch as we enter things electronically on the iScore application. The 2-1 pitch, a curveball, misses in the dirt, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 count. 3 balls, 1 strike, the count on Nate Troby. 2 outs. The 3-1 pitch misses high and inside, ball 4. May have been the best thing to happen here for the Mustangs, just to put him on base. As Daniel Camersell steps in, Camersell no hits. The pitcher here this afternoon for Roosevelt looking to help himself with 2 base runners on the base pass for the Rough Riders with runners at first and second. Godo works from the stretch. His curveball taken at the knees, strike 1. A good get-me-over breaking ball for Matt Godo. Camersell struck out in his first at-bat. He grounded out to first on Saturday. As the 0-1 pitch hit weakly right side, Cole Frisbee giving it chase. Runs out of room as he runs into the fence. That ball's out of play, but Godo's quickly ahead. No balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs in this 4th inning. As he looks up the middle to his shortstop, Michael Fitzsimmons running through a series of signs as far as defensive pickoff moves are concerned. Michael Fitzsimmons working that base runner out at second base in Quintana. Godo sets the 0-2 pitch, a breaking ball, a check swing. That ball's in the dirt. Fluke's going to tag the runner. Fluke's going to tag the batter. Mustangs now asking for help up the middle. The base umpire, having his counterparts back, says no swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count on Daniel Camersell, the Roosevelt Rough Riders pitcher. Matt Godo has the sign from Justin Fluke. Fitzsimmons jockeying the runner out at second. Godo's 1-2 pitch. Fouled off right side as Camersell stays alive. Top half of the 4th inning. 1-0 is our score. Roosevelt has led from the start, scoring 1 run in the top half of that 1st inning. As we set here in this 4th, 2 outs. 1-2 is the count on the batter. Godo's breaking ball just misses. Not by much as the count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lucky 2's on the scoreboard for Fort Morgan. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Fitzsimmons working off the hip of the base runner out at second. Frisbee behind the runner at first. The payoff pitch. Breaking ball misses high, ball 3. The count is now full. The runners will be moving with the full count and 2 outs. Important here for Godo to go right after Daniel Camersell. As the 3-2 pitch hit left side. Diving is Anderson. It's going to get through. Around the third base bag is Quintana. Mendez's throws not going to be in time as Roosevelt scores their 2nd run in this baseball game. Quintana scores from second. Troby moves up 90 feet and is now at second base. Camersell, after the single, will have a courtesy runner. We'll get you that name here shortly. As Camersell's the pitcher for Roosevelt. The speed up rule in high school, catchers, pitchers get courtesy runners, not a charge substitution. As the courtesy runner for Camersell is number 4, Zach Corju. Believe we may have even saw Zach on Saturday a couple times running the bases. Decent speed. As Godo's first pitch to Derek White misses low and inside, ball 1. It's important here that the Mustangs end this inning before Roosevelt's able to score another and keep this game in reach, as the 1-0 pitch hit and caught. Thrown on to first in time. That ball only taking a quick hop before Godo fields it, throws it to first to get out of the inning, but not before Roosevelt adds another. And with 3.5 in the books, we head to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Fort Morgan 0, Roosevelt 2. B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider, Eddie Underwood Field in Fort Morgan, where the Mustangs have to answer. Time, quite frankly, is running out as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. That inning, Braden, should have never really happened. Ulysses Hernandez pulling up on what would have been the 3rd out. Single, walk, single. Roosevelt adds another, now leads 2-0.
Yeah, a little bit of a scary moment there as Fitzsimmons takes the first pitch for a ball down and outside. But Hernandez, I'm not really sure why he pulled off that baseball. If he lays out and dives, it's nothing hurt there, as the runner's not going to score. Then an unfortunate event is Mendez playing deep in left field, gets the ball, gets hung up in the grass, and allows Roosevelt's base runner to just come in and score.
Fitzsimmons takes the 1-0 pitch, ball 2. So the count's now 2 balls, no strikes. Camersell winds up, delivers his 2-0 pitch, fouled off out of play by Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons grounding out in his first at-bat. Back up the box to the pitcher as he looks to get his Mustang squad going. 2-1 pitch by Camersell, hit up the middle. It'll be a base hit. Out to center field as Fitzsimmons rounds the bag at first. Leadoff single for the senior shortstop as Aaron Anderson steps in. Anderson, if not the hottest hitter this season, he's given a run for it. Likely maybe some all-league honors coming his way, as he's been lights out offensively this 2012 season. His Mustang ball club needs him now, as this heart of the lineup may not have the chance to come back up again, as the first pitch is called a strike. Grounding out to the right side, Anderson did in his first at-bat. Off the bag at first, Fitzsimmons. The Mustangs trailed 2-0, bottom half of the 4th inning. Anderson swinging by the diving second baseman out into right field. Fitzsimmons going first to third. Will be there easily. Anderson moving up 90 feet on the throw that gets away from the cutoff man. And Fort Morgan is in business in this bottom half of the 4th inning. Nobody out. 2 runners in scoring position. Anderson hit the single. Fitzsimmons goes first to third. And Anderson moves up to second base on the throw. And Fort Morgan's in business, Braden. No outs. Runners at second and third. A single ties this baseball game.
Yeah, very smart base running by Aaron Anderson and Nick Garver, who struggled at the plate. Never a better time than now for him. Final baseball game. I know he wants a base hit, and all the Mustangs need is a base hit. Line drive in the right center gap, as that hole is huge out there.
First pitch swinging is Garver, who skies the ball to shallow left center field. The shortstop going back on the baseball makes the catch. It's the first out this inning on the fly out by Nick Garver. Runners stay put at second and third. Cole Frisbee steps in. Frisbee singling down the down the left field line in his first at bat. And before Frisbee's going to get the chance to swing the bat, the head baseball coach for Roosevelt wants to talk to his ball club. We'll take a quick break, be back with you. B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider, Eddie Underwood Field in Fort Morgan, where the Mustangs looking to answer in this bottom half of the 4th inning. They have runners at second and third base. Michael Fitzsimmons on third. Aaron Anderson's out at second. Garver not able to execute, flies out to shortstop for the first out, and stepping in, Cole Frisbee. Frisbee in his first at-bat had that single down the left field line as he takes the first pitch, a fastball for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count to Cole Frisbee. Frisbee, a left-handed swinging bat. Right-handed throwing first baseman for the Mustangs. There's a big gap, Braden, from what is right field to the center fielder, as the 1-0 pitch called a strike on the outer part of the plate. Count evens up 1 ball, 1 strike on Cole Frisbee. Camersell a long look in to get the sign from the catcher. The 1-1 pitch to Frisbee, a big cut. He comes up empty, and the count's now 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Mustangs' first baseman. The coach for Roosevelt wanting to talk with his entire infield on that trip to the mound. As Frisbee steps back in, waits for the 1-2 pitch from Camersell. Camersell, the check of the runners, working from the stretch. And the fastball misses up and inside. Ball 2 as the count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Fort Morgan's first baseman, Cole Frisbee. Mustangs out in scoring position with runners at second and third. And the 2-2 pitch just misses. Ball 3 and the count's now full. That pitch almost a little too close to take for me, Braden. As Frisbee gets away with one there, the count fills up. He's got to be ready to swing the bat here and drive something up the middle. As Camersell again, a long look in to get his sign. And the 3-2 pitch, hit right side, gets away from the first baseman. The runner will score, Fitzsimmons from first. The first baseman just able to get back to the bag for the putout, but the Mustangs able to score 1 run. It's only the second out this inning. Good job by Frisbee to put that ball in play hard. First baseman really not able to handle it very well. Squirted away, but not far enough as he's able to get back to the bag. But not before Fitzsimmons scores from first, and Anderson moves up 90 feet and is now at third. The Mustangs cutting the lead in half, trail now 2-1. As Justin Flug, the Mustangs catcher, steps in. He had a double back in his first at-bat. The senior stepping up here on senior day. 1 for 1 with the double. 2 outs in this bottom half of the 4th inning. Critical, he puts the ball and finds grass somewhere. Laced down the left field line, but foul. Everybody getting excited here as that ball was off the bat in a hurry. But foul all the way as Justin Flug's now behind. No balls, 1 strike. All you got to do is find green somewhere. A lot of grass out there. The bat on the ball, find the grass, and Mustangs tie this baseball game as the 0-1 pitch misses in the dirt. Ball 1. Count evens up 1 ball, 1 strike. Mustangs with activity in their bullpen. Ulysses Hernandez and David Mendez warming up. As Flug hits it hard left side, fielded by the third baseman. The throw's going to be in time, and that'll do it for the Mustangs as the side's retired. But the Fort Morgan Mustangs score 1. And as we head to the top half of the 5th inning, Fort Morgan's cut this lead in half and trails by 1. Roosevelt 2, Fort Morgan 1. You're listening to Mustangs Baseball, B106. Back here at Eddie Underwood Field, the final regular season game for Fort Morgan this 2012 season. As we head to the top half of the 5th, Mustangs were able to cut the lead in half, scoring 1 in that bottom half of the 4th. As Matt Godo back out for his 5th inning of work, finishes his warm-up pitches. Roosevelt Rough Riders sending their 9th hitter, C.J. Hawley, to the plate, followed by Ray Hernandez. And Christopher Corju, as Hawley steps in, he struck out looking in his first at-bat. As Matt Godo ready to go, gets his sign from the Mustangs catcher Justin Flug from the windup. His pitch, a fastball right down Broadway, strike 1. Mustang defensively up until this point, no changes. Mendez out in left, Garver in center. Nate Alexander in right. The 0-1 pitch called a strike and taken, and Hawley's quickly behind. No balls, 2 strikes. Aaron Anderson's at third base. Michael Fitzsimmons at short. Hernandez at second. Cole Frisbee at first. Flug continues to work behind the plate. He's been there all year long as the 0-2 pitch by Godo misses high, ball 1. A good 0-2 pitch by Matt is his 1-2 pitch. A breaking ball, again a little bit high, as the count evens up 2 balls, 2 strikes. Batter calling time. Time is granted. No pitch as Godo had delivered the pitch, but the umpire waves it off, says no pitch. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. As Godo resets, has the sign, winds up. Right-handers delivers, fastball, strike 3, swung on and missed. The first out this 5th inning for Fort Morgan. As back to the top of the order, the leadoff hitter for Roosevelt steps in, Ray Hernandez. Roosevelt's led throughout, scored 1 in the first, 1 in the 4th. Fort Morgan answering, cutting in half. Now trails 2-1. The first pitch to Ray Hernandez, fouled off out of play. Hernandez 1 for 2 this afternoon. Led things off back in the first with a stand-up double. He struck out in his last at-bat as the 0-1 pitch. Again fouled off right side, out of play. As the leadoff hitter for Roosevelt's quickly in the 0-2 hole. No balls, 2 strikes. Again, no pitch. Umpire again calling time. It's not often that you see the umpire granting the hitter time.
Did the hitter call time there, Josh? I thought the umpire just called time.
Umpire may not have been ready. Either way, the 0-2 pitch is lined out to center field. It's been a little bit of Godo's problem this season is too good of pitches in good pitching counts. When you're ahead 0-2, you've got to let the hitter get themselves out, and that pitch just up in the zone, line back up the middle is the leadoff hitter Hernandez reaches for the second time this afternoon with a single back up the box. The left-handed bat.
Premier Farm Credit, committed to serving those in production ag. Premier Farm Credit, the gold standard in ag lending.
Left-handed bat, Corju steps in. Corju squares to bunt, pulls back, takes the pitch for a ball. Godo now throwing 81 pitches. 49 of 81, 4 strikes. Runner off the bag at first. Godo throws over to Frisbee to keep Hernandez close. Hernandez back easily on that pickoff attempt. Follow us all season long, pitch by pitch. B106.com. Click on the appropriate link as the Mustangs' standard pickoff attempt does not work. It worked last week. As Godo steps off, Frisbee running as if though the ball's been thrown over his head in an attempt to get the runner to come off the bag, but good coaching there by Roosevelt. The runner stays put, nothing doing. The count remains 1 ball, no strike on Christopher Corju. Godo sets, delivers. Corju again squaring to bunt, pulls back. The pitch is called for a strike as the count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike. A long look down the third baseline by Corju to his coach. Aaron Anderson about 5 feet in on the grass. Frisbee holding the runner on at first. Throw over, runner leaning, he's picked off. Mustangs, as they've done all season long, finding outs in weird places. As Ray Hernandez is picked off for the second out this inning. It's a huge pickoff attempt by Godo. As the Mustangs now in business in this top half of the 5th inning with 2 outs. The 1-1 pitch to Corju. A fastball just misses inside, ball 2. Coach Langford in a variety of discussions this year. There's a runner on base. That's an opportunity to pick the runner off, and he's done a good job of that. And his pitching staff, more or less, has done a great job of that all season long. As the 2-1 pitch misses in the dirt, that curveball getting away from Justin Flug as the count's now 3 balls, 1 strike. Godo working quickly right back into the count with the fastball on the outside part of the plate, called for a strike. The count is now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes on the second hitter in the lineup. Corju, who fouls the baseball straight back, stays alive. Count remains full. If we get there, the third hitter in the lineup for Roosevelt, Mac Morford, is on deck. Corju 0 for 2 this afternoon, reached on an error and grounded out as the payoff pitch by Godo again fouled off out of play over the third base dugout. Anderson thought about giving chase, but that baseball well out of play as Corju making Godo work to get him out. 7th pitch this at bat here to Corju. We've got time and a baseball on the field. Little kid throwing the foul ball back into play. As things reset. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top half of the 5th inning. Godo's payoff pitch. Hit out to center field. Garver, a couple steps over, makes the catch. The side is retired for Roosevelt in the 5th inning. We head to the bottom half, where Fort Morgan looks to answer. Roosevelt 2, Fort Morgan 1, B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider, Eddie Underwood Field as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Daniel Camersell back out for his 5th inning of work. The Mustangs with Nate Alexander, Ulysses Hernandez, and then back to the top of the order, David Mendez due up third. Time's running out, Braden. this ball game's been fun to watch. It's been close. We'd obviously like to be on the other end and winning this thing right now, but the Mustangs going to have some work ahead of them as they trail by 1.
Yeah, Mustangs have plenty of opportunities. I'm not worried right now. The Mustangs, I like the way they're playing. They're having fun. They're out there. They're hitting the ball well. Their defense has been solid. The Mustangs have power everywhere in the lineup. Anyone in this lineup has the potential to put a ball in play and make a big play happen. So I think the Mustangs just need to relax, find their pitch, and drive it.
0-1 on the first pitch strike to Alexander. He takes the 0-1 pitch in the dirt, a fastball, ball 1. Counts now 1 ball, 1 strike. Alexander, back in his first at-bat, hit a rocket about 3 feet off the ground that fell in front of the center fielder. Center fielder actually retreating on the baseball as it fell in front. As the count's 1-1 on Alexander, the Mustangs the right fielder. The 1-1 pitch gets by the catcher, ball 2. That ball going all the way to the backstop, a fastball that was just low all the way. James Martins is actually on deck, would likely hit here for Ulysses Hernandez, as Hernandez continues to throw in the Mustang bullpen. Nate Alexander takes the 2-1 pitch for ball 3. Counts now 3 balls, 1 strike. On the Mustang right fielder, Nate Alexander, as Camersell has the sign, works from the windup. His 3-1 pitch hit up the middle. Will it be enough? It's fielded by the shortstop. The throw on the run, not in time. Nate Alexander motoring down the first baseline, beats the throw. It was going to be a close play from the get-go, as Alexander on base with his second single here this afternoon. As James Martins steps in. Martins batting for Ulysses Hernandez.
There, the grass playing a factor, Josh. Slowed that baseball down just enough to give Alexander the time to beat the throw.
Yeah, and also slowing down the ball enough to give the shortstop the chance to make the play. As Martin squares to bunt, instead pulls back. The pitch is called for a strike. Mustangs have to do a good job or better job of executing in these sacrifice situations. Hernandez in his first at-bat struck out on the bunt attempt. Martins gets this bunt down left side, but it's picked up in foul territory as the count's now quickly no balls, 2 strikes. Martins count, no balls, 2 strikes. Alexander, a much similar situation the first time down at first base. Alexander ended up stealing the bag. Interesting to see what happens again here with no balls, 2 strikes. Will Martin square to bunt with 2 strikes on him? Or will he look to manufacture? He squares, bunts down, in play. Good job by Martins, fielded by the third baseman. The throw's in time, but the sacrifice executed as the Mustangs have Nate Alexander in scoring position at second base. Good job by James Martins to get that bunt down with 2 strikes. 2 strikes on a hitter. You have to put the bunt and ball in play, or that's strike 3. As the leadoff hitter, David Mendez, steps in after the sacrifice bunt by James Martins.
Colorado Plains Medical Center, transforming lives each day. Colorado Plains Medical Center is where people choose to go for health care.
Mendez takes the first pitch for a ball. 1-0 the count on David. He's 1 for 2 this afternoon. Grounded out in his first at-bat, singled in his last as he waits for the 1-0 pitch. A change-up, swung on and missed. Count evens up, 1 ball, 1 strike. Good change-up there by Daniel Camersell. The 2 Daniels here for Roosevelt, giving the Mustangs a hard time. Daniel Quintana, Daniel Camersell, the 2 pitchers we've had the chance of seeing here in really as many days. Is Alexander off the bag out at second. Mendez swinging, fouls the ball off the end of his bat. Mendez is now behind, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Northern Colorado Title. For all of your title needs, visit Tim Weimer at Northern Colorado Title at 130 West Kiowa in Fort Morgan.
Camersell sets a check of the runner. His 1-2 pitch swung on in the dirt. Mendez on his way to first as that ball gets away from the catcher. He'll reach on the drop third strike. Alexander moves up 90 feet and is now at third base. Matt Godo will be our hitter And with one out in this bottom half of the fifth inning, critical here for the Mustangs to Godo not only help himself but pick up his team as Coach Langford runs through a series of signs.
Bijou Tweakwest at 302 Main Street in Fort Morgan has letter jackets, t-shirts, banners, and more. They're also your local experts for customizing your team's sports apparel.
To set the table, bottom of the fifth inning, Mustangs trail 2-1, one out as Matt Godo steps in 0 for 2 this afternoon is Godo. He takes the first pitch, an off-speed pitch for a strike. Mustangs with Nate Alexander 90 feet away at third base. David Mendez at first as Godo swings the 0-1 pitch down the left field line, but foul. A good line drive, but Godo just a little bit ahead of that pitch as he's now behind no balls, 2 strikes. Important here that Matt Godo fight, work to stay alive. Big hole up the middle, Braden. And anticipate here with one out. The way the stage is set, the Roosevelt Rough Riders defensively looking to roll the baseball in the double play up the middle. It's a ground ball to second. It's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. Godo pulling up a little bit short there with the hamstring maybe. That's the second time in as many innings as Godo's grounded out on the double play. And with that said, it ends the Mustangs' threat in this fifth inning. They continue to trail by 1. As we head to the top of the 6th, Fort Morgan 1, Roosevelt 2. You're listening to Mustangs Baseball, B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider, Fort Morgan, Colorado, where the Mustangs look to close out the 2012 season with a win. They've got some work to do. Trail as we head to the top half of the 6th, 2-1. Changes for the Mustangs as Ulysses Hernandez goes in for Matt Godo on the pitching mound. David Mendez now moves into second base, and Sergio Becerra is out in left field for Fort Morgan as Ulysses Hernandez finishes with his warm-up pitches. Hernandez, the last couple times we've seen him, Braden, has been very effective on the mound.
Hernandez has been good all year. Let's not kid ourselves. He's just that pitcher that it takes. You and I talked with Josh Langford about it a couple weeks ago, and he says it will take a batter at least 2 times around through the batting order to figure out Hernandez because he just has so many different release points. You can never figure him out. I mean, he can come straight over the top, the shoelaces, and then up, a straight submarine. Hernandez is a very unique pitcher. I've never seen anything quite like him, and it's a great asset for the Mustangs as he can come in and close a ball game out, as we've seen him close numerous games out this year, and I'd like to see him come out and attack these Roosevelt hitters early.
Yeah, Hernandez with a variety of arm angles, a variety of pitches. Not going to overpower anybody, but he will move the baseball around the strike zone. He'll vary the hitter's eye angle and force them to chase a lot of baseballs as he delivers his first pitch. As always, Coach Langford joked with us last, it's usually always a first pitch curveball, as was it there. Misses for a ball to Mac Morford, the third hitter in the lineup. Morford 0 for 2 this afternoon with 2 flyouts to right field. One of those flyouts picking up an RBI. And likely the difference here in this baseball game thus far is Hernandez's 2-0 pitch misses up and in the zone, ball 3. Hernandez quickly behind to the leadoff hitter this inning, Mac Morford, third in the actual lineup as the 3-0 pitch taken all the way. Strike 1. It's not common you see this kind of a pitcher in the high school ranks, and if you do, he'll be from the side every pitch. But as much as Hernandez varies his look, that gives a lot of his opponents and the batters he faces a fit. As back in this count after the foul ball, 3-2. Hernandez's payoff pitch, a breaking ball swung on and missed, strike 3. Hernandez making it look easy out there as he picks up the out for the Mustangs on the strikeout. That'll bring up Jalen Davenport. Davenport is grounded out twice to the right side of the infield. As he steps in, Hernandez working quickly, winds up, delivers his pitch from down low. A fastball in on the hands, fouled off, strike one.
Josh, you mentioned it earlier with Hernandez not being able to overpower anybody. As Coach Langford mentioned, he said that 75-mile-an-hour fastball looks like the fastest fastball you've ever seen from his release point. As the curveball misses high and inside. But Hernandez is just fun to watch. I get a kick out of watching him every time as that curveball starts on the left side of your hip and drops in there for a strike. So it's just fun to watch him.
1-1 pitch is misses outside, ball two. Back in my playing days and coaching years, we referred to a guy like Hernandez as a guy that threw frisbees. You never really knew where the baseball was going to go. Always found a way. The seams caught some weird angle on the way to the plate, and the baseball always did funny things. As Hernandez gets back in the count here, evens things up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As the right-hander winds up, delivers in the dirt, blocked well by Justin Flug, keeps the baseball in front. The count is now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. On the cleanup hitter, Jalen Davenport, second hitter this inning for the Rough Riders. As Hernandez delivers the 3-2 payoff pitch. Hit right side, Frisbee and Mendez giving it chase, as is Alexander. The ball lands in foul territory in front of the restrooms here at American Legion Ballpark. As Davenport stays alive, fighting off that 3-2 pitch by Hernandez. A long run back for the right side of the defense for Fort Morgan as they've settled back in. Hernandez again, the 3-2 pitch. Fouled off the foot of the batter Davenport as he fights to stay alive defensively for the Mustangs. Again changes this inning. With Picaro out in right field, Garver remains in center, Alexander's out in right, Anderson at third, Fitzsimmons at short, Mendez moves to second, Frisbee at first, Flug behind the plate. Ulysses Hernandez on the mound as the 3-2 pitch, fastball outside. I'm not sure where that pitch missed, and with 2 strikes on you as a hitter, Davenport gets out of jail free with that pitch as he draws the walk. Not sure where, if, or how that pitch missed, but it'll be a walk nonetheless. A base runner for Roosevelt in this top half of the 6th inning. There is 1 out. Fort Morgan trails 2-1 to the Rough Riders as the batter Daniel Quintana squares to bunt. The pitch misses outside as he pulls the bat back. We saw this a lot on Saturday where the Rough Riders, even though there's 1 out, not typical to see a sacrifice bunt in those situations. The Rough Riders did it very regularly as they had the lead and were in control, as Quintana does so again. Takes the pitch for a strike as the count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike. The runner at first, Davenport, held on by Cole Frisbee. Ulysses Hernandez works from the stretch, a check of the runner. Runner squaring, now pulling back, hitting it out to center field. Garver on the run, makes the catch. The runner in motion is going to be caught and doubled up as the throw from Garver gets the Frisbee in time for the double play. And the Mustangs need to carry that momentum to their bottom half of the 6th inning. They've got 6 outs left in this baseball game to manufacture 2 runs. Good time to start would be right now, as we'll be back after a quick break. Fort Morgan 1, Roosevelt 2. We head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Mustangs baseball, B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider, Fort Morgan, Colorado, Eddie Underwood Field, where the Mustangs need a run to tie this baseball game. They're running out of chances and opportunities. No better time than now, Braden, as the Mustangs have 3, 4, 5 in their lineup due up as Fitzsimmons steps in. First pitch swinging, hits the ball down the right field line, tailing foul. It's twice now. If Fitzsimmons can move the foul pole about 15 feet to the right, he'd be in business this afternoon and would have 3 hits, 2 of which would have been home runs, but both those baseballs just tailing a little bit foul as they clear the outfield fence, and Fitzsimmons a long strike. Waits for the 0-1 pitch from Camerzell as the big right-hander winds up. Fitzsimmons swinging sharply and promptly hits it out into left field through the 5-6 hole for the single. A big turn by Fitzsimmons. He'll stay at first. But the Mustangs have the base runner they've been looking for as Fitzsimmons reaches base with the single. Aaron Anderson steps in. Anderson 1-4-2. Grounded out in his first at-bat. Singled in his last. Coach Josh Langford, the Mustangs head baseball coach, threw a series of signs. As Camersell sets, delivers the first pitch to Anderson for a ball. Anderson not squaring to bunt. One of the best hitters in the Mustang lineup. That may be his best chance. As Anderson waits after a long look by Camersell to the runner at first and Fitzsimmons. The 1-0 pitch inside, a little bit up in the zone, but called a strike as the count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike. In this bottom half of the 6th inning, no outs. Fort Morgan trails by 1. They need a run. Aaron Anderson with the 1-1 count. The pitch on the way. Changeup swung on and missed. Strike 2. Anderson well out ahead of that changeup. With 2 strikes here, needs to shorten up his swing, put the baseball in play. Anderson has driven the baseball the other way this season. There is a huge hole, about as big a hole as we've seen all year on the left side of the outfield. The left fielder's shading towards the line. The center fielder's playing pull and is almost in the right center gap. About as big as a hole as I've seen in the outfield this year if Anderson can get something over the shortstop's head. Mustangs will be in business as Anderson on the 2-2 pitch fouls it off right side. The runner Fitzsimmons was going on that 2-2 pitch. It's a good job by Anderson realizing that you're going to have to fight off any good pitch to hit with your runner in motion, protect that batter. As the count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes on the hitter Aaron Anderson. Left-handed swinging bat is Anderson. Fitzsimmons at first base after his single. A step off and a throw over to first. Back easily is Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons is what I would refer to as sneaky quick. Never an over-aggressive or overbearing lead at first, but always gets out of town well. Has picked up quite a few stolen bases this year. He stays put. The ball is hit out to the shortstop, left side in the air. It's collected easily by the shortstop for the first out this inning. That ball caught by the shortstop, Ray Hernandez, as Anderson's in the books with the fly out to short. Fitzsimmons has to stay put at first base as Nick Garver steps in, bunting for a base hit. Will the ball stay fair? No. Just hits a rocker. Blade of grass and kicks foul. Garver had it beat. He was at first base. Mustangs would have had runners at first and second. That ball just squirting foul. Things just, for whatever reason, not going the Mustangs' way in the last week. A little bit of stretch of bad luck. Mustangs doing their best to combat it and fight through it and find a way to win this baseball game. As Garver has the strike on that foul ball. 0-1 is the count. Camersell sets, delivers. Garver hits it right side weakly. Garver's fast enough, as is Fitzsimmons. The second baseman only has 1 play, and that's the throw to first. Fitzsimmons now in scoring position on the fielder's choice and out at second base as Cole Frisbee steps in.
Equitable Savings and Loan, Northeast Colorado's hometown savings and loan in Fort Morgan and Brush.
Fitzsimmons out at second base as Cole Frisbee steps in. First pitch swinging is Frisbee, fouls the pitch hard and out of play left side.
Mustangs just need a base hit to a gap. They don't need anything big, just a base hit to the gap. Fitzsimmons is quick enough to score. Just 1 hit.
2 outs in this bottom half of the 6th inning. Swinging is Frisbee. The ball is off the pitcher's glove. He works to recover. Frisbee motoring down the line, but the throw is just in time. And the Mustangs cut down in this 6th inning. Things just not going Fort Morgan's way as they continue to work and find a way to score runs. As we head towards the top of the 7th inning, Fort Morgan 1, Roosevelt 2. They leave a runner stranded. You're listening to Mustangs Baseball, B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider, top of the 7th inning. Ulysses Hernandez back on the mound for his 2nd inning of work. Important here that the Mustangs hold the Rough Riders and give themselves the opportunity to tie this baseball game in the bottom half of the 7th. This baseball game moving quickly, an hour and 30 minutes old. We're in the last inning. Fort Morgan has trailed throughout. Roosevelt scoring a run back in the 1st inning, adding a 2nd in the 4th. They've scored 2 runs on 4 hits, have left 3 runners on base. Fort Morgan again out hitting this Rough Riders ball club. Mustangs scoring one run on 8 hits. They have made an error and have left 5 runners on base. The line tells the story. Is Fort Morgan just not able to capitalize the opportunities as they've had runners on base? First pitch here to Nate Troby is taken for a strike. Troby's been much of the offensive threat in this Roosevelt series. It'd be good to start things off with the out as Troby, Camersell, White do up this inning for the Rough Riders. The 0-1 pitch misses for a ball as Hernandez winds back up. His 1-1 pitch, a curveball hit weakly left side, charging at Anderson, fields it cleanly. Throw on to first in time. They get Troby just as requested. First out in the books. Getting the leadoff hitter out as a pitcher is always important, as Hernandez does so here. 1 out in the books in this top half of the 7th inning. Anderson doing a good job to field that baseball in the big hop. Sets his feet, makes a good throw on to first to Frisbee. 1 out top of the 7th as Daniel Camersell steps in. He's 1 for 2 this afternoon. First pitch swinging, going after that breaking ball by Hernandez. It's fouled out of play. Strike 1. Mustangs straight up defensively as Hernandez 0-1 pitch on its way. A fastball high and outside, ball 1. Mustangs in a little bit of a rut here in this last week of the season. They won 7 in a row before losing to Erie. As the 1-1 pitch gets away and to the backstop, it'll be ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Mustangs have lost 2 straight and a little bit of a rut. Need to find their way out of it as we head towards the postseason. A win today means a second place spot and almost a likely guarantee in the postseason. A loss here today means 3rd place and flirting with even a chance of not making the playoffs, quite frankly. So the 2-2 pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. Ulysses Hernandez doing his part to make sure this ball game stays where it's at 2-1. 2 outs now in the top half of the 7th. The 8th hitter in the lineup, Derek White, steps in. He's 0 for 2 this afternoon. He did have a hit back on Saturday as Hernandez delivers the first pitch breaking ball for a strike, buckling the knees of the hitter White. As the count's now no balls, 1 strike on Derek. Hernandez quickly working his 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 2. Hernandez well ahead here, no balls, 2 strikes. For the 8th hitter in the lineup, Derek White. 2 outs in this top half of the 7th inning as Hernandez's 0-2 pitch. White thought about it, able to hold up. Pitch called a ball. Justin Flug doing a good job to keep that baseball in front. Good breaking ball in the dirt. Good 0-2 pitch. As the 1-2 offering by Hernandez misses low, ball 2. Count evens up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning. Lucky 2s here for the Mustangs on the board. Hernandez's 2-2 pitch, a frisbee, goes behind the batter, White. As the count fills up, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning. 2-1 is our score. Mustangs trail by 1. Hernandez's payoff pitch, again a breaking ball, hit left side and foul. As Derek White fights to stay alive.
CTO Charlie's for a great used car or truck today. If you don't see what you want on the lot, they will find it for you at 700 West Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan.
Hernandez with the new baseball back on the mound. The sign from Flug. The 3-2 pitch misses high, ball 4. Runner on base in Derek White. The Roosevelt Rough Riders calling for a pinch hitter to their dugout. C.J. Hawley, the 9th hitter in the lineup, is due up. He will be replaced by number 17, Jackson Davenport. Jackson Davenport, a left-handed hitting bat, steps in. Derek White, the runner at first base with 2 outs in this top half of the 7th inning. Hernandez waiting to get things set and go to work.
Status quo, Josh. Get 2 quick outs, and we have a runner on.
That may be my fault jinxing this all year. It's just something you see on a regular basis in this game. You get the first 2 quick outs, and find a way to let that last runner get away from you. As the first pitch to Davenport's taken for a strike. No balls, 1 strike the count on the pinch hitter. The 0-1 pitch does not miss by much, but called a ball.
That's the second pitch we've seen, Josh, in that same location that's been called for a ball. We've thought it's been close. I don't know where that pitch is missing. That's a good pitch by Yuli Hernandez.
The 1-1 pitch fouled straight back off the screen. Hernandez now ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes to the pinch hitter Davenport. There's a reason he's here and we're not watching him on TV. The unfortunate part about sometimes with high school sports is consistency on the field and by the officials as this 1-2 pitch is hit sharply out to left center field. It'll be a pinch hit single as that baseball falls in front of Sergio Becerra. Runners now on first and second. And after that single, there will be a pinch runner for Davenport at first base. The base runner for Jackson Davenport, number 11. On the lineup card, that's Alex Freeling. Freeling now at first base, pinch running. Derek White at second base. Roosevelt knocking on the door here with 2 outs in the top half of the 7th inning as Ray Hernandez, the leadoff hitter, steps in. He's 2 for 3. A double and a single. He has struck out as Hernandez delivers. First pitch high and in the zone. Ball 1. Hernandez very productive this afternoon. One of the 2 runs to cross the plate for Roosevelt as the 1-0 pitch, a curveball called strike 1. No offering by Hernandez as the count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the 7th inning, 2 outs. Roosevelt leads 2-1. Mustangs have the bottom half left to go. The 1-1 count here on Hernandez. They've got to get out of this jam. The fastball outside part of the plate. Again, not called a strike. As the count moves 2 balls, 1 strike. Not sure where the pitch is missing on that outer half of the plate. Mustangs pitcher going to have to work through it.
I almost wonder if it's Ulysses' release point. It coming across his body could push the umpire's eye a little bit. I don't know.
2-1 pitch, almost the same spot. It's not high. Unless the plate's getting smaller, I'm not sure, but the count's now 3 balls, 1 strike. There's nowhere to put this batter as the 3-1 pitch hit left side. Fitzsimmons going to have to make a great play. He backhands it. His throw in time. Great play by the shortstop senior, Michael Fitzsimmons, picking up his ball club and keeping this baseball game within 1 run. As we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning, Fort Morgan needs to go and go now. As Roosevelt has 2, Fort Morgan 1. You're listening to Mustangs Baseball, P106, P106.com. So we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider, Eddie Underwood Field. Final regular season baseball game for the Mustangs. They've got 3 outs left in the books with 7, 8, 9 due up this bottom half of the 7th. Leading things off will be Justin Flug. Nate Alexander is on deck. And Ulysses Hernandez is the scheduled hitter due up third. Mustangs have trailed throughout. Things just really have not gone their way. They've had a variety of opportunities. I've seen more double plays in this baseball game than I think I've seen all year long as Flug steps in. The first pitch by Camersell taken for a strike. Swinging on the 0-1 pitch, weakly out towards second base. It's caught by the second baseman. It'll be the first out in the books. On that fly out by Justin Flug, Mustangs will now send Nate Alexander. Alexander, pretty hot here this afternoon. He's 2 for 2 for the Mustangs. 2 singles for the Mustangs right fielder. Ulysses Hernandez is on deck, and then back to the top of the order if we get there as Alexander takes the first pitch for a strike. Anticipate every hitter we'll see this inning will be taking a strike until the Mustangs have at least a runner in scoring opportunity as the 0-1 pitch, a changeup, foul tipped, caught by the catcher, and Nate Alexander's quickly behind. No balls, 2 strikes. Mustangs winning 7 in a row, now have lost 2 in a row. Needing to get hot, Alexander may get the spark as he's now 3 for 3. Single up the middle. Alexander reaches first base. That's 3 singles for him this afternoon. All 3 singles have been up the middle. As Ulysses Hernandez steps in with 1 out in this bottom half of the 7th inning. Mustangs have the runner on base in Alexander. He's got great speed. Hernandez this afternoon 0 for 1. Struck out, was pinch hit for in his last at-bat by Martins, who executed the sacrifice bunt. As Hernandez takes the first pitch down in the zone, ball 1. Universal take sign again given by Coach Langford. Anticipate again until a runner is in scoring position. Force Camerzell to get ahead in the count as he falls behind here. Now 2 balls, no strikes. His fastball misses outside there to Hernandez. Alexander with a cautious lead. It's a good idea off at first base. He's the tying run. He cannot get picked off. Has to run the bases with a proper thought process here. The 2-0 pitch to Hernandez, taking all the way. Called for a strike. Counts now 2 balls, 1 strike. Hernandez still has to do a good job to not chase here. Get a pitch he can handle and drive. There's a big hole on the right side of the infield as the 2-1 pitch, a breaking ball is taken, strike 2. Counts now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ulysses Hernandez, Nate Alexander on the bag at first. 1 out in this bottom half of the 7th inning. Mustangs trail by 1. They need a run. As the 2-2 pitch, Hernandez skied shallow center field, giving chase. The shortstop calls for the baseball. The center fielder last minute calls him off. Makes the catch as he trips and falls, able to hold on to the baseball. There's now 2 outs in this bottom half of the 7th inning. Alexander remains at first base as the leadoff hitter, David Mendez, steps in. As Camerzell will work from the stretch with 2 outs. First pitch to Mendez, taking all the way. Pitch called for strike 1. Mendez 1 for 3, grounding out, singling, reaching base on a drop third strike. As the count's no balls, 1 strike on Mendez. Swinging at that changeup, way out in front is Mendez. Mendez now behind, no balls, 2 strikes. The Mustangs with 2 outs in this bottom half of the 7th inning are down to their last strike. Alexander on the base paths at first. Mendez awaits the 0-2 pitch. Camerzell sets, delivers a breaking ball, misses high, ball 1. The Roosevelt coach wanting that pitch called for a strike, but the umpire has not called that pitch in the last 2 innings. Those are the same pitches the Mustangs have wanted the last 2 innings. The count moves to 1 ball, 2 strikes. David Mendez, the leadoff hitter for the Mustangs. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning. Mendez swinging, drop third strike. There's going to have to be a throw. It is in time as the Rough Riders finish this baseball game, and they're going to be victorious. Fort Morgan just not able to score runs. They've had many opportunities, and a lot of things not going their way this afternoon. They fall 1 run short. They lose to Roosevelt 2-1. We'll be back with some final thoughts and numbers. You've been listening to Mustangs Baseball, B106, B106.com. Today's post-game show brought to you by High Plains Bank in Wiggins. No matter what your loan needs, stop by High Plains Bank, 502 Central Avenue in Wiggins today. Also inquire about checking and savings accounts as well as CDs at High Plains Bank in Wiggins. Things just not going the Mustangs' way in the last 10 days as Fort Morgan loses again here. Now 3 games in a row they've lost after winning 7 straight. The final line for Roosevelt, 2 runs on 5 hits. They left 5 runners on base, did not commit an error. The Mustangs scoring 1 run on 9 hits. They did make an error and left 6 runners on base. We've talked about it a little bit off the air, Braden. The Mustangs, for the majority of the 2012 season, have been able to produce runs. I think there's only been 3 or 4 times this entire 2012 season that they've been held to fewer than 5 runs. And with where we're at the end of this 2012 season, it's just not, Mustangs just haven't been able to score.
Yeah, it's been tough. That's all there is to it. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Grounded into double plays twice here today. What game have we seen 2 double plays in one baseball game? I can't remember a time. It's frustrating as a fan, and I'm sure as a coach, where you know your team is 10 running people constantly. Your 7-game stretch, I think only 3 of those baseball games did they not have a decision by 10-run rule. Sterling, Skyline, and Erie were the only 3 that I can think of that they didn't win by 10-run rule. So as a player, you have to sit back and think, okay, we just need to get back to basics, get back to the plate, being aggressive. I liked what they did at the plate. They did have runners on. They had runners. They had chances to score, just couldn't capitalize. So somebody needs to step up at the plate and become a leader, find a pitch, and drive it. We saw the huge gaps, right center and left center, some of the biggest gaps I've seen all year. Roosevelt was playing risky. Mustangs should have taken this ball game, in my opinion. Just bad luck if that bunt that went foul. I mean, that was a huge turning point.
That bounce is just really not going our way today, or these last 3 baseball games for that matter. Is the hits came in this Roosevelt series. Fort Morgan out-hit the Rough Riders in both games, but both games Mustangs just falling short. Those hits not coming in the times when runners were in scoring positions, as the Mustangs will finish the 2012 season in Tri-Valley League play 9-5. That's good enough for 3rd place. Roosevelt will finish 9-5, but with a tiebreaker, they'll hold 2nd place. And as we head towards the postseason, it's now in the CHSAA Board's hands, and they'll decide where we go or if we go. I'd anticipate with the competition in Tri-Valley League play, we'll at least have a spot in the postseason and districts to be played on May 12th. A week from this coming Saturday. It'll just be a question of as where and what time. We'll talk to Coach Langford coming up this Monday. As always, he's been grateful to join us on air Mondays afternoons. Never a fun conversation to talk to a coach after a couple tough losses. He's now had 3 in a row. I don't envy him. As his ball club looks to regroup, they'll have some time this week to put things back in order and hopefully get hot again and make a run here in the districts. As we'll wait to hear and have that conversation with him on Monday, see where the chips fall. But as it goes for the 2012 regular season, the Mustangs, not a bad year. Just things not ending their way with this 3-game losing streak. They'll finish 13-6 overall on the 2012 season, 9-5 in Tri-Valley League play. Appreciate you joining us all year and season long. We'll be back again for districts May 12th. We'll be advertising and pushing those times your way. I'd like to thank our sound engineer and producer in the studio for Mustang Baseball, Trent Klimper. Alongside Braden Schneider, I'm Josh Miller, where the Mustangs fall short 2-1 this afternoon. Pleasant good evening to you. We'll be back for districts May 12th. You've been listening to Mustangs Baseball on B106 and B106.com.